Right now at 5 here on WHAS 11 News, we begin with breaking news. It's coming from the Breckenridge Lane area. You see the police on the scene in the Klondike neighborhood. This is outside the Watershed Expressway. LMPD says there's been a shooting at this location tonight. And Metro Safe telling us 2 people are dead. Again, 2 victims on the scene. This is a developing story. We've been there just a few minutes. Our crew will bring us updates as it becomes available right here. So stay with WHAS 11 News. Also here tonight, the other big story we're following, another huge development in the Crystal Rogers murder investigation.
Police have made a 3rd arrest in the case. The Nelson County grand jury indicting Steve Lawson on 2 charges: conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. Steve Lawson is believed to be Joseph Lawson's father. Joseph was the first person arrested in this case. Right now, Steve Lawson is in jail in Harrison County, Indiana. He will be extradited back to Nelson County for his arraignment later this month. Here's what we know about the new charges and how police believe he's connected. Pieces falling into place 8 years after the disappearance of Crystal Rogers, the mother of 5 from Bardstown, last seen alive 4th of July weekend 2015. Now, 3 men have been linked to her death, believed to have happened that very same weekend. Joseph Lawson was the first arrest. Brooks Houck was second. Now, Steve Lawson marks the 3rd, a name not new to the investigation. In fact, it was first mentioned just months after Rogers was reported missing inside the Nelson County Sheriff's interrogation room.
Okay, who is Steve Lawson?
He's somebody that works for me.
Main suspect at the time, Brooks Houck, explains why he had a late-night phone call with Steve on the night Crystal disappeared. Houck called Steve from inside the interrogation.
The other night you called me really late, and I forgot what you asked me. Can you...
Steve is heard telling Houck he called him with a question for Crystal. Houck says he had to call her to ask and would call him back. Detective John Snow questions that answer, saying it doesn't line up with Houck's initial story.
So that begs a question in my mind.
All right.
If she's in the truck next to you when he called, why would you need to call her?
News of the latest arrest in the case comes just days after the latest search. 2 properties in Cox's Creek, the focus of a 3-day effort. FBI and Kentucky State Police using heavy machinery to dig massive holes, the first near a wooded tree line, the second just across the street behind an abandoned trailer on Thompson Hill Road. Authorities would not confirm which case the search was connected to, only saying it was one of these 3 from Bardstown. Crystal Rogers' grandfather, Till Ballard, was on site. Hopeful investigators were finding a critical piece of evidence in his granddaughter's case.
I just hope the day comes that we can get her remains and bury her, and everybody involved in this pay for it the rest of their lives.
Now, 3 men are connected, facing charges for a death that still has many unanswered questions. So here are the 3 upcoming court dates that you need to know about in this case. Steve Lawson is expected in court for arraignment on December the 21st. Joseph Lawson's next court date is January the 5th, and Brooks Houck is scheduled to be in court on February the 8th. Of course, the WHAS 11 team will be there for all of them. And the other late-breaking story today, if you're a JCPS parent late this afternoon, you got it. We're talking about the message about proposed school bus changes for next year. The school bus sending it out today to parents, the school district sending it out today to parents, confirming what we told you from that school board meeting that happened earlier this week. JCPS telling parents today they cannot guarantee school buses for students attending magnet schools or schools outside of their zone next year. That would include traditional schools. The school district says the Board of Education will vote on this change early next year. And since the application period for new schools is underway right now, they also write in that email message, if your student is accepted into a magnet school or attends a school on transfer out of their zone and can no longer attend due to a change in the JCPS provided transportation, your student will be able to attend a school in their zone. We're going to have a lot more on this from our Focus reporter, Travis Breeze, who's working on this development. He's been following this story for months. Travis will join us coming up on WHAS 11 News at 6. Again, all of this will hinge on that big vote early next year. And it has been a busy afternoon. We've got even more breaking news to tell you about here at 5. The Teamsters Union claims UPS has agreed to reinstate workers who were let go yesterday, narrowly avoiding a strike. According to the Teamsters Union, 35 workers voted to join Teamsters Local 89 this fall and were laid off by UPS yesterday. They said UPS had said that the laid off workers' jobs should be performed by management instead. Well, today, Teamsters posted on social media saying President Sean O'Brien reached out to the Teamsters who lost their job to let them know the company has agreed to reinstate them. A statement posted to social media from Teamsters president says in part, both sides immediately came together and were able to resolve the situation on the ground. This is the outcome we were looking for. Now it's time to do what the Teamsters do best, and that's get back to work. We reached out to UPS to confirm they had reinstated the fired Teamsters. They said, quote, "We're pleased to have reached an agreement with Teamsters regarding our Louisville, Centennial, and Chicago Jefferson Street hubs. We remain focused on providing reliable service to our customers during this peak season."
And just moments ago, Norton Healthcare finally providing an update on that cybersecurity incident from back in May. Months ago, their NIST now, late today, officially confirming it as a ransomware attack that hit the big hospital company. A spokesperson with Louisville Norton says they have been working with law enforcement since the attack and have concluded their months-long investigation. They say that they have no evidence unauthorized individuals gained access to Norton's medical record system or the MyChart system that so many people use. Norton says they are in the process of mailing letters to those who may have been impacted by the ransomware incident, and they say that those impacted will be offered 2 years of free credit protection services. Beginning today, they've set up a hotline for people to call regarding this incident. It's going to be available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Here's the number if you are a Norton Hospital patient and are concerned about this. Give them a call at 866-983-5764.
More news right here at 5 o'clock. This morning, a woman was shot and killed on Shadyside Drive in the Park Duval neighborhood. LMPD says it happened around 8:45. When they got there, officers found a woman who was shot one time. EMS reports that she did die on the scene. LMPD says all parties are accounted for in this investigation. And a third person has died after a house fire in the Chickasaw neighborhood that killed 2 others early Monday morning. The coroner's office says another 65-year-old died last night at U of L Hospital from smoke inhalation. A 7-year-old boy and 65-year-old man died in the fire earlier this week. The family had moved here from Congo. Investigators said the fire started in the living room and a space heater was likely involved.
Quite the development today as Bryce Rhodes appeared in court for the last pretrial conference before his trial starts. And the judge in Louisville made it clear she's not going to tolerate any disturbances from him. She also gave him the option of wearing a device that will shock him, or he'll be removed from the courtroom if he causes any kind of disruption during the trial, as he's done in the past. Rhodes is accused of killing 2 brothers, 14-year-old Larry Ordway and 16-year-old Maurice Gordon, in 2016, after authorities say the teenagers watched him kill another man. The defense has filed a motion to have Rhodes not in shackles during the trial. The judge says Rhodes has behaved just fine during his pretrial conferences and does not expect a lack of the shackles to be an issue, but she still laid out and explained what will happen to him if he causes this disruption in front of the jury.
If the jury is in here and there is a disruption caused by you, what's going to happen is I'm going to just pause and the jury will be escorted out of the courtroom because they're not going to know you're in jail, right? So you're not going to be shackled or anything. They're not going to see you coming in or out of that door. The whole point is that they do not know that you are in jail. So they will be escorted out of the courtroom and then we're going to have a talk. And I'm going to give you the option of either staying in the courtroom with like this cuff on your leg that deputies can use to shock you, but I'm not going to make you wear it. You don't have to. You will be given the choice of either staying in the courtroom with that device on or just being in the back, you know, or going back. It'll be your choice.
Jury selection in this trial is scheduled to start Monday, December 11th. The judge is hoping for opening arguments to begin then the next day on Tuesday.
Well, soak it up. This warmer weather we've been telling you about finally here. And the other thing we've been warning about, lots of rain on the way.
After so many bitter cold days, you really noticed the changes today as we went up into the 60s. Let's check in with meteorologist Colleen Peterson. You are timing the rain. It's a big weekend of holiday events, Colleen, so how's it looking?
Well, it's looking pretty wet Saturday night through Sunday morning, and we could actually see a few stronger storms Saturday afternoon in the form of some wind. Right now, we are seeing some stratus clouds, pretty cloudy. Yes, I'm loving the 60-degree weather, but if only we had some sunshine with it. It's also a bit windy out there. We are seeing some wind gusts up to 15-20 miles per hour. 62 right now at the Ollie International, 57 in Shepherdsville, and throughout the rest of the evening, it's staying dry and cloudy. The only thing that you'll find are some clouds out there tonight and maybe a few sprinkles actually up on the radar right now around Jefferson County, sprinkles from Sellersburg over to English, and that's about it. But that's all going to change tomorrow. We are tracking this system that's expected to develop right over western Kentucky and Tennessee as we head towards tomorrow afternoon. So notice the chance of seeing some stronger storms is really from Nashville to Jackson, Mississippi. For us, it's a level 1. All that's showing is that there's a chance we could see some strong wind gusts and some of those thunderstorms mainly farther south of Louisville. So the storms are going to really start to fire up Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. I'll time it out a little bit closer coming up. Doug, Shay.
All right, Colleen, thank you very much. Well, listen up, Kentuckiana. The conversation over bringing rail service back has once again started up.
Deja vu all over again. You know, we've seen Amtrak come and go around here over the decades. Today, the mayor announced a $500,000 federal grant to look into this possibility again. Take a look at the map. The goal is to reestablish rail travel along the light blue line going from Louisville to Indianapolis. The Kentuckiana Regional Planning and Development Agency is taking the lead to study what it's going to take. Isaiah Kim Martinez is joining us with the story. And Isaiah, I rode the first Amtrak into the city years ago when they brought it back. It didn't last long. So what makes this so different?
Doug, I saw that video with you in it. It's great, right? Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg said the federal government investing their resources into this project means something, telling us today the timing is right now. Remember, Louisville once had passenger rail service, like Doug mentioned, Amtrak's old Kentucky Cardinal line that connected the Derby City to Indianapolis, which connected, of course, to Chicago. But that all ended in 2003. Now this $500,000 will kickstart research, looking into what new routes would look like, where the demand is, and what extra infrastructure may be needed.
If this planning study goes well and we're able to prove that there's a demand and show that there's a route that will work, we believe we will be very competitive for additional rounds of federal funding.
And speaking of that funding, if the project were to get approval, both Kentucky and Indiana would be expected to foot 20% of the bill for construction and development, with the feds covering the rest. Now, the town of Clarksville in southern Indiana is a partner in all this as well. In fact, for months now, they've been planning their downtown overhaul specifically with a future Amtrak station in mind. Their big plans coming up right here at 6. Doug.
Okay, Isaiah, thank you so much. Well, officials believe the study alone could take a couple of years. Meantime, the Indiana Department of Transportation says they've also received federal money to look at further expanding this route from Indianapolis right to Chicago.
Now a heads up for Indiana drivers. The Sherman Mitten Bridge is going to be shutting down heading eastbound for more than a week, and it starts tonight. The bridge will shut down heading into Kentucky starting at 10 p.m. tonight. It'll reopen at 5 a.m. on December the 20th. The suggested alternative route is I-265 and I-65. The Sherman Mitten Renewal Project says the closure will allow crews to work safely as they move into the next phase of the project.
More local news here today at 5. Parents at Christian Academy of Louisville are taking matters into their own hands after the school announced plans to close its Southwest location next year. Alexis Jones was on that campus today, and she shares how parents are fighting to keep the doors open.
Just months after learning Cal Southwest will be closing, parents created this 3-page proposal, ultimately pleading for one thing.
We're asking for grace.
From the school two of Sarah Davis's children attend.
We love the school. It's right down the road from our house.
And provides a safe place for them to practice their faith. But that joy was silenced in October when the Southwest campus announced its closing at the end of the school year. Davis and others heard the news over Zoom In an additional letter to parents, school leaders pointed to enrollment for the reason why.
Currently, we have about 250 students that attend this location. Max capacity, I believe, is 400 students. So they were looking for that enrollment number to increase. It came to a complete shock to all of the staff members and to the students. There was no warning signs that the school was going to be closing.
Since the announcement, leaders are encouraging families to enroll at the Christian academies in Middletown and Southern Indiana. They already have a transition team to help with the process. However, parents aren't buying it.
And this community needs our school. To encourage families to go to school in Southern Indiana is a big loss, not only for the south end of Louisville, but for Louisville as a whole and for Kentucky.
This is why they created a proposal asking for a 3-year grace period to increase enrollment and raise money to cover deficits. If Christian Academy still chooses to consolidate after that, parents propose a new school to take over this location.
A sustainable plan that's going to work for our community, that's not going to rip these students out of everything they've ever known.
In the meantime, they're asking for 1,000 signatures on a petition, 300 families to commit to the Southwest campus, and a $3 million pledge. Davis says she knows they're living on a prayer, but they plan to hold on to the very end. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS 11 on your side.
Now, we contacted the Christian Academy school system today. In a statement, the leaders say we are actively moving forward with the announced consolidation plans for our Southwest campus. We are aware that a few parents are petitioning other families, but the school board has not been presented with any viable proposals. They go on to say we continue to partner with our current employees and families who want to transition to our Middletown or New Albany campuses. These efforts include prioritized admissions and job opportunities, 3-year tuition arrangements, and free bus transportation.
The ACLU filed a new lawsuit today challenging Kentucky's abortion ban. This time they're suing based on a real case, a pregnant woman only identified as Jane Doe. When the ACLU took the case to the Supreme Court decided doctors could not sue on behalf of their patients. So the ACLU needed a patient willing to come forward. Well, after months, it seems they have found her. Jane Doe is 8 weeks pregnant, according to the ACLU. The patient said in a statement, quote, "The government is interfering in my private matters and blocking me from having an abortion." The ACLU is arguing the ban violates Kentuckians' right to privacy.
We are here today because of one incredibly strong and resolved Jane Doe, who is taking charge of her own life and is fighting on behalf of millions of her fellow Kentuckians to do the same.
The ACLU filed the motion as a class action lawsuit, inviting other women to join in. The abortion ban went into law more than a year ago. We reached out to Attorney General Daniel Cameron. His office says they are currently reviewing the complaint.